Feeling left out without prom this year? I get it, guys. Grinding daily for 12 years of school and you get what? A Zoom party to celebrate? Unbelievable. To cheer you up, how about the catcher walks you down memory lane and you can see for yourself whether you missed prom for good? Check out our prom categories. You get to vote as well, just like at real prom. Click the icon in the top right corner and rank them all. Side note, spoilers ahead. Now, let's start with the most romantic nominees. Living the Cinderella dream. We all know that prom is the day when you either realize your feelings for a person or confess you're in love. And in the sex education series, Otis didn't even have to say a word to his crush, reserved and nihilistic Maeve, to charm her forever. Not only did Otis save his classmate's life, but he also evoked someone's true feelings. He crushed it saying, "Sometimes the people we like don't like us back, and it's painful." The words were a game changer and made Maeve finally realize she likes Otis. I, myself, felt like Otis was talking to me.
Sometimes you're unlucky, but one day you're gonna meet someone who appreciates you for who you are. I mean, there's 7 billion people on the planet. I know one of them is gonna climb up on a moon for you.
The girl tries so hard not to jump ahead and kiss his adorable face. One of my favorite scenes in the series. Is any list complete without a Gossip Girl couple? Chuck Bass once said, "People like me don't write books. We're written about." Well, you're goddamn right, Chuck. Despite him trying so hard to come off as an intolerable, egocentric, and manipulative antagonist, the guy has a heart and would do anything for his lady. Chuck voted 150 times to rig the vote to make Blair prom queen. He made her childhood dream come true, even though he wasn't her prom king.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but that was really sweet.
I just wanted to make sure she had the perfect night.
Bass just stood in the audience, watching her thrive. Isn't it the most romantic thing ever? Chuck and Blair are endgame. Not gonna lie, missing out on prom sucks, but you can always catch up and recreate it when the time is better. That's exactly what the Big Bang Theory crew did, since being nerds in high school excluded them from enjoying the prom experience. They decorated a rooftop and even got proper outfits for it.
Say cheese!
At school, Leonard was way too shy and awkward to have a date for prom, but that night, he was finally able to make his dream come true, to dance with the most popular girl, his at-the-time girlfriend and future wife, Penny.
Look at me, dancing with the prettiest girl at the prom.
Now, go ahead and pick your ultimate sob-fest love story. Let's move on to the most heartbreaking prom. We're gonna hit you hard from the top. Our first contestant is the Kissing Booth teen drama. Reminds us of Romeo and Juliet's forbidden love story. To maintain their friendship, two best friends, Elle and Lee, come up with a rule. Never mess with each other's family members. It all takes a turn when the two grow up and Elle crushes on Lee's brother Noah, who is portrayed by none other than Jacob Elordi, a famous heartthrob from the legendary Euphoria. Forbidden love turns into an intense romance. Despite his brother's will, Noah confesses his love to Elle during prom in front of everyone.
Because I love you.
And she kindly declines. Ouch! Rejection hurts, especially when it's witnessed by your whole school. Yikes! Now, if you were ever stood up on a date, I bet it didn't feel as bad as Ross's prom fail. Let's talk good old friends. Remember the flashback episode when we saw the tape of Rachel and Monica dressed up and ready for their senior prom? Rachel was the most popular girl at school, and Ross had a massive crush on her, but was too shy to confess his feelings. Ross was going to college at the time, but puberty hit him late. And let's not even talk about that mustache. What happened is Rachel's date Chip bailed on her, and Monica's parents convinced Ross to put on a tuxedo and take Rachel to prom like a hero. The moment we think, what a beautiful story, we see that Chip finally shows up, and Rachel leaves with him. Jump cut to Ross pathetically standing in the corner, holding a bouquet, while his crush is leaving with somebody else.
Bye! Don't forget! Okay, Chip!
I am not gonna lie. My little heart shattered into pieces when I saw his sad eyes. Some proms evoke way too much nostalgia that you never asked for. It immerses you into a complete state of misery, like it did with Clay in 13 Reasons Why. Clay was celebrating at his prom when his moment of joy was ruined by Lord Huron's The Night We Met song, the exact song he danced to with his dear friend Hannah on the very same dance floor. It was their song, and Hannah wasn't there to join him anymore because she had recently ended her life. The song brought back all the memories and pain Clay had been trying to deal with for months. Eventually, he breaks down, but his classmates were there to circle around him and cry with him. That moment made me teary-eyed. Now, it's your turn to decide which one tops the Titanic. You have to admit that each prom has an iconic moment that stands out. Are you ready to learn from the best? For the place of most iconic queen contestant, number 1 is Elena Gilbert from The Vampire Diaries. Showing up to prom with 100-plus-year-old security guards Damon and Stefan is a must. It is hard to say how many proms these two have actually had over the course of the past decades. Anyway, what is the point of prom unless you're prom queen? You just have to be more convincing.
Compel you. You can't be compelled, but you can be killed. Rebecca wins prom queen. Got it?
And even if nobody dies, somebody definitely gets hurt big time. Iconic? You tell me. Contestant number 2 for the iconic queen title is Eric from Sex Education. Eric accepts his queer identity and leaves for junior ball dressed in confidence, it's called. When confronted by his conservative father, Eric snaps and shares his words of wisdom.
This is me.
I don't want you to be hurt.
No, I'll be hurt either way. Isn't it better to be who I am?
Astounded by his son's courage, Mr. Effiong says the most important words. I am learning from my brave son. Guys, I cried. This is the most beautiful scene ever. Shout out to the sex ed writers for the LGBTQI+ representation. The industry and teens needed it badly. And our next nominee for Iconic Queen is Kurt from Glee. Sometimes high school is not the best environment to be in, and for Kurt, it was definitely the case when half the school voted for him to be prom queen. And you would think that experience would be humiliating, but not for Kurt. He plucked up his courage and dealt with it like a champ. The newly declared prom queen turned the tables and made it his moment.
Eat your heart out, Kate Middleton.
Kurt slayed that nomination by making the prom inclusive. Vote for Kurt if you think he is the most iconic queen of all time. And to back that up, let's give you some options to rank the Prom Fail category. What do you do when you're in your 30s and have never gone to prom? What happens when your best friend is desperate to see the band that is performing at prom? That's right, you two crush that prom. In the series How I Met Your Mother, Lily and Robin sneak in with 2 nerdy seniors. Lily gets carried away with her premarital emotions and ends up giving a speech to one of the boys saying that after high school, his life is over.
You won't accomplish anything you set out to. You'll get a girlfriend the first day of college, and you'll give up your independence, and you'll never live abroad, and you'll wind up old before your time wondering whatever happened to my hopes and my dreams.
While Robin gets puked on, the ultimate prom experience.
Just don't...
Speaking of prom traditions, there is one that parents are not particularly fond of. That is losing your V-card to your date. And if you think your parents are overprotective, let them join the parents trio from Blockers, Hunter, Mitchell, and Lisa, who would follow their kids anywhere to save them from flippant teenage activities. Any adult fun is off the table. Needless to say, no action happens. Now, our final category is meant to make you feel like not having a prom is actually a relief. What do we say to a prom like this? Thank you. Next. You expect your prom day to be one of the most memorable days in your life, and if you were in Riverdale University, it definitely would. Firstly, unlike any other school, Riverdale High has a costume-themed junior prom. Isn't prom like all about fancy dresses and gorgeous hairdos? Not this one. How about a pitch black dance hall and boys dressed like jesters? But that's not even the best bit about it. Instead of enjoying their teenage dream, Archie, Betty, Veronica, and Jughead are determined to hunt a serial killer named the Gargoyle King, which essentially is a walking tree, but that's beside the point. And guess what? A bunch of 15-year-olds were not ready to fight a bad guy, especially if he has backup. And that second guy is Betty's father? Yep. Forget about the final dance when you are desperately trying to escape a killer whilst passing by creepy corpses lying around the school. It just doesn't give off good vibes anymore. And proms like these never go out of fashion. Remember when in Pretty Little Liars the girls had a real psycho to deal with? A fairy tale themed prom started off like normal. The only difference is it didn't end up with the Queen nomination. Dancing, romance, talks about the future slowly transitioned our main 4 liars into a chase with a potential killer who gets to their best friend first. Imagine nonchalantly sipping on punch while your classmate is being dragged through a corridor by a mysterious guy in a gown and creepy mask. The security measures on these events have got to get better at some point. You thought that was the scariest experience of all? Wait for it. In the I Am Not Okay With This series, Sydney has an 11 moment when mid-prom, Jock Bragg goes on stage. This evil guy thought it would be funny to steal her diary and read it in front of everybody, interrupting the dance. Actually, we can stop right there. I feel like someone revealing all of your secrets and mental health issues to the entire school is humiliating and traumatic enough to classify it as the worst prom ever. But it gets worse. The thing is, Sydney has no control over her thoughts at times. Actually, most of the time, her temper prevails and something bad happens. Sid has not acknowledged it yet, but she has telekinetic abilities. So when Brad is holding her diary, sharing her deepest secrets to what felt like the whole world, Sid gave in to her rage.
Sydney, claim
Shut
that
up!
she has...
Imagine standing in a crowd and watching your classmate's head blow up. How do you recover from this? I bet even an admission to Harvard won't make you feel better. Now, tell me which one you think is the absolute worst prom you can possibly have. Pick your top choice. Comment below. Which category did you enjoy the most? Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe to see more content made by The Catcher.